How many times have you thought about starting something only to not do it because something was holding you back? Maybe it was because you didn't have the right gear, you weren't in the right shape, you didn't have enough money, or you were worried about what your friends would think of you. Whatever it is, the only thing holding you back is you. When I look back at my life, all the skills and major milestones I've accomplished have come from me making one singular action, a decision to start now and figure the rest out later. When I was 19, one of the biggest things I wanted to start was my own soccer podcast. Talking about soccer and especially sports came natural to me and my friends, so I always had in the back of my mind to start one. I thought about it for months, but eventually on an early summer day, 1 week before the Premier League season started, I busted open my Windows laptop and recorded my first episode. All the notes were taken on a huge notepad. I had no proper mic, sound installation, or distribution methods. I just wanted to get started. And even my logo, I made it using Microsoft Paint. Now, as I did more episodes, I eventually got a proper mic, proper editing software, and good sound installation, but all of that couldn't have come if I didn't take that action step at the start. This YouTube channel is a prime example of taking action. My first legitimate YouTube video, I just set up my camera and hit record with a rough outline of a book review I wanted to do. I didn't have great lighting, I didn't know how to properly edit footage that well or color grade, but I just wanted to get my idea out there and build that positive momentum. Look at some of the best college football coaches, Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. In Nick Saban's first year at Alabama, he finished 6-6 while Kirby Smart went 7-5. What followed after a pretty disappointing debut season for both was 6 national championships for Saban and 2 for Smart. It wasn't pretty at the start, but they started and it led to greatness. Now, I'm not guaranteeing greatness, but they didn't get to where they are without taking that first action step and being okay with failing a bit on that journey.
Darrell, run the road again! Damn it, it's cut!
Now that we know why action is important, how do you actually take it? Well, the first step in that process is reducing friction. If you're starting something new, don't compare your first idea to someone who is already a pro. If you want to learn how to cook, don't try to make a dish from Gordon Ramsay because chances are the dish won't be as good as he'll make it and it will be too complex for you to follow. Instead, you want to attack the low-hanging fruit and reduce the barrier of entry. So if it's your first time cooking tofu, for example, you want to find an easy tofu scramble recipe on YouTube and follow that. Now, if you want to make videos, don't compare your first video to Matt D'Avella because chances are it won't be as good. And that's okay because the important thing is you just want to get started. When it came to my podcast, I didn't compare my show to others at the start. I didn't let the fact that they had better mics, better lighting, or better logos stop me from sharing my idea out to the world. And what really drove this idea in my head was understanding that everyone at some point was a beginner. So no matter your age or when you start, you still have time to learn and improve your craft. So this leads me directly into my next point, which is continue to get better. Now, in all my past endeavors, I took the initial step, which was action, but what kept me on the path was slowly improving my craft over time. See, it's no fun to be stuck at the same level forever. Imagine if you've been hitting the gym consistently for 6 months, but you can still only lift a 20-pound dumbbell. That would feel pretty demoralizing, right? Well, luckily, that's not the case. As long as you're progressive overloading, you know that those 20 pounds will easily turn into a 30-pound dumbbell curl. So yes, when I started my podcast, I used that really garbage setup for the first initial episodes, but eventually me and my co-host found out that our university had a recording studio that we could rent out. So once we were able to rent out that studio, our production quality immediately improved. When I started my YouTube channel, I had to learn the basics of photo and video editing all on my own, and my goal was to make each video just a little bit better. So that meant learning a new filmmaking technique or a new editing technique. So what started out as me being a noob who couldn't film a video properly has slowly turned into someone that knows how to record S-Log3 footage and grade it properly. And now these skills didn't happen overnight. It's been a 3-year journey of consistent, slow improvement. Now, probably the easiest way to summarize this point is the idea of going to the gym. Now, anyone that's built up the habit of going to the gym knows that those progress and those results you come and see only happen slowly over time. And for me, I've been on the biggest health journey of my life in the past 9 or 10 months or so. I slowly started to increase my lifting strength with each session, and those little progressions made a huge difference down the line. And all of this leads into my last point, which is you need to make it your identity. Quite possibly the best thing that comes out of taking action and making slow improvement is that it becomes a part of your identity. Going back to the cooking example, what started off as you being a lowly chef only making crappy tofu scramble has slowly turned into you being a very confident cook that can make intricate vegan dishes and can cook or bake anything. You have now adopted the identity of a chef, so you start treating the kitchen as a chef. You start looking at the ingredients you have and learning how to make something on the fly. you start eating out less, and you choose to cook more with the stuff that you have in your fridge or in your cabinet. And the same goes true for the gym. Instead of the gym being this grand deal that you have to get yourself psyched up to do, it has now become a part of your identity to just get into the gym and get some exercise in every day. So instead of slowly rotting away on the couch watching Dragon Ball Z, you now choose to get up and take action and act like a Saiyan.
Like a true warrior, I will rise to meet it.
Now, when it came to the podcast, there was this running joke when I was in college that I was the podcast guy, but that only came because me and my co-hosts built up this expectation that we were going to get an episode out every week, and we didn't let anything get in the way of that goal or that expectation. And now when you start to make those expectations and showing up for yourself and building that identity, you start to become that person you want to be. And this is the cornerstone principle of making an action turn into a habit that sticks forever. There are going to be a million reasons why you can't do something today, but I invite you to let all those excuses go and find a way to take action today. Once you start taking action and it becomes a habit and it slowly becomes a part of your identity, you will find that all that motivation you were seeking from others was no longer needed because all of that was inside you all along. So with love and respect, Yash.